All right. Thank you, Luis. I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing, for taking your time to kind of share with me your story and what you've been going through since the time I met you. Sorry about that. Since the time I met you until now. Um, well, the way I got to meet or hear about you was in school through a professor. His name is Dr. Lenigan, and that guy has been a mentor for me. I mean, he's been teaching me about politics, international affairs, etc., and even introduced me to people like you. And when I talked to him about getting into real estate back then, it was in the middle of the school year. Um, he said, "Well, I have a student in another campus that will be a great fit for you, and you guys connect and go from there." And so I decided to shoot my shot with you, and you were very. I'm just grateful for all the advices and tips that you gave me in that moment. I've been taking action on some of them. I still haven't gotten to a point where I want to be, but definitely I want to share your story. I want you to share your story. Um, so you have the mic.
All right. Thank you, Adolfo, for introducing me. And yes, Dr. Lennigan was basically the bridge that kind of connected us together. Um, he's an amazing professor. He's taught me, like you, he's taught me so much about just life in general that most teachers don't in college. So he was an amazing bridge that got us to the level where we are today. But pretty much about me, like you said, I'm in real estate. I became a real estate agent at the age of 19, back in August. But pretty much my work history started back when I was 14, 15. I had the opportunity. My first job was at a freight forwarding company with my best friend's mom at the time, which she's still a mentor to me to this day. We have an amazing relationship. So I kind of got a feeling of what hard labor work is. I was working 40 hours a week, loading containers, unloading containers, and at the end of the day, I mean, for a $400 paycheck for a, 14, 15-year-old is a lot at the time. But when you really start analyzing that, most people do this for a living and have to support people with this type of income, it's not really that much, so that I took it as a summer job, learned a lot of lessons there. Then I went to do a bunch of different other gigs. I tried KFC out for like 2 weeks, and then I quit. I saw it was like basically modern day slavery. And then after that, I worked at Publix for about a year and a half, and then my last corporate job was in Home Depot. I was a supervisor. I started in 2017, and then this year, actually February, was when I left Home Depot. So I'm very familiar with the workforce. I've tried all different, private and public sectors. Um, and I guess, at the moment you just hate the opportunities, but they teach you things that the school can teach you, hard work, discipline. So I'm grateful for every opportunity that I was given, and thankfully until today, I was able to leave a corporate world in February. I'm still a real estate agent, but I started up my own business in the middle of the pandemic in April. I started a dispatching company for trucks, and that's been going extremely well for me. So I'm just grateful. I pick and choose the little opportunities that I've been given, and now can apply it to my own businesses.
Dude, congratulations! You're starting in the
Thank
middle
you.
of the pandemic. So,
Right.
just with your introduction, you're dropping gems already. I mean, you're shifting the perspective of a lot of people. I know people that have been watching these interviews, and they've been telling me, "Hey, Adolfo, that's great stuff you're doing," and I'm super excited every time I bring a young person just like you, bro, uh, killing it, starting your own business, showing that hard work pays off at some point. And
Right.
even when we hopped on the phone call, the very first time I spoke to you on the phone, you mentioned something about shifting your mindset from being an employee to an entrepreneur. Do you want to
Right.
elaborate on that?
Right. So I believe this is something that everyone who wants to be an entrepreneur or who is an entrepreneur and was a worker for a company or for someone else struggles with. So because when you're a company worker, you're just there, you do your job. Most of us do it as minimally as possible, the least amount of work possible, because at the end of the day, we're going to get the same rate per hour unless you're getting paid by commission. So basically that's pretty much it. We're kind of capped at the level that we want to perform, at the level that we expect. And it's happened to me before, and I've seen it where these big corporations, they kind of promise you the world and opportunities, and they don't give it to you just because of the politics of the company or whatever the case may be. So shifting of going from an employee and depending on people and having to answer to people, and going to a business owner or an entrepreneur, that you basically have to self motivate yourself, self fund, and have to do every other aspect of the business. You know, when you start off, you're your own marketer, you're your own sales team, you're your own HR. So all these things that were basically taken care for you before, you have to do it for yourself now. Right.
Yeah.
And then my whole perspective is, and this will kind of create a little bit like a polemic. The word entrepreneur has been taken to out of context in many ways. My definition of an entrepreneur is someone who, you know, had an idea, a simple idea or a simple thought, and took the execution and the steps necessary and turned it into something profitable or something big. You know, many people just think because you're in business that you're automatically an entrepreneur, but you can be a businessman and not be an entrepreneur. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I get you totally. I mean, there's I've seen this post too, talking about being an entrepreneur and a wanapreneur. I mean, I think I've been on both places. At the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take action whatsoever. That's why I was seeking help, getting networking or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't take much action. But I feel like I'm making a little bit of progress. And for everyone that's watching this, if they have an idea, just go execute it, keep it simple, stupid, just kiss, you know.
Right,
It's
right.
really simple to just go on Instagram like I did and asking, hey, would you like to be in a short interview, 20 minutes, let's talk about your story. And
Right.
that's how we're making this happen. So, and a lot of people are telling me, Adolfo, good stuff, and I appreciate everyone that's saying that. And even if there's people out there that aren't saying anything because, you know, they don't like it or anything, I will appreciate it. You know, it's all feedback. I take it that way, and I'm sure you and your
Absolutely.
businesses, you've taken it the same way. So being an entrepreneur, it's been difficult for me. That's why most people don't do it. It's the security of having a job, right? So for your in your experience, what's been those challenges, dude, that made you say, crap, this is getting harder, I might not, you know, I might quit it, and how you
Um,
overcame that?
well, the first part is obviously, you know, taking the risk. You know, I wasn't comfortable. I mean, I was comfortable at Home Depot. I mean, I used to work on the weekends, but I absolutely hated it. Like I would literally see families shopping on the weekend and enjoying their time, and I would be stuck at my job, and I couldn't spend time with my family. So it got to the point where it just got extremely negative, and I wasn't being myself because of it. So yeah, I was like, you know, and for anyone hearing this, if you're in our situation where you're young, why not? You know, we don't have, most of us don't have kids, we don't pay rent, we have very little overhead. So if you're going to risk anything and go all in on something, now's definitely the time to do it. Because if you wait, you're just not going to do it. And I could definitely say that taking the jump was definitely the best thing that I ever did, for me and for my business. But definitely entrepreneurship, people think it's easy, but the lonely nights, the stress, the you wanting to do more but you just physically can't anymore, or just thinking that you're behind when really you look around you and people are so much more behind you and you're so much more ahead. And just the fact of yourself self-doubting yourself and all that, that's the part of entrepreneurship that no one really talks about. Everyone sees the end result, which is the success, you know, the vacations, the cars, the assets, whatever the case may be, but no one really sees the back end work that has to go into it and the mental struggle that one has to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. uh, I mean, that's great. I think everyone's been there. What were some things you did to cope with that? I mean, you're young, I imagine you wanted to go out those weekends, and but what kept you pushing, you know?
Honestly, I think having a good support system helps.
Mhm.
I don't really have friends. I've distanced myself because most of the people in this generation are pretty much toxic, if you may say.
Yeah.
So I'm really selective with the people that I hang out with. So a huge supporter has definitely been my girlfriend.
Mhm.
Um, and just being smart about it. So for example, all my businesses are funded on credit. I have a 750 plus credit score with over $30,000 in credit lines. No one really talks about these things, but all my businesses have been funded on other people's money. So if I wasn't knowledgeable and if I didn't start at the age of 18 of building my credit, have paying on time, building relationships with different banks, these opportunities wouldn't have been possible because no one has, that amount of money just laying around to risk it all to potentially lose it and start a business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, talking about credit, what were the steps you took to starting your businesses with real estate first and foremost? Then we can jump on the
So,
right.
right. So with real estate, well, you want to talk about like my personal credit first, or you want to talk about real estate?
Uh, you choose, man. Drop the
Okay,
gems. It's for the viewers.
yeah.
These are
So
people
on
that are going to
credit,
follow you later. Okay.
right. So the whole thing about credit is I basically started the credit as soon as I turned 18, my first, like that same week of my birthday, I got my first card, which is the Discover card.
Okay.
Student. If you're a student, they give you like 1,500 bucks guaranteed.
Yeah.
Um, so from there, I started building my credit. Was there? I used it to pay off gas, paid it off, etc. Then after a couple of months, the own bank will start giving you credit increases once they see you have good credit payment history and stuff like that. So then I just waited a couple of months. Now I believe my second card was a Chase. So I got a Chase. I'm a member of a credit union, so I got their platinum Visa. This is all in the span of like 2.5, almost 3 years. I
Okay.
got a platinum Visa with my credit union, um, and then I have the Apple Card, and I also have about 2 to 3 credit cards with American Express. And the good thing about American Express is that people don't really know the difference between personal and business credit. I
Mm.
fund all my businesses on business credit. So business credit doesn't reflect on your personal credit. I could have $10,000 in debt on my business, but it doesn't reflect at all on my personal. So that's definitely a good thing to keep in mind. Always try and open business credit cards, although they're kind of harder to open. Um, it's always definitely good to have them. And even if you're not in business, I just feel that everyone for something should have an LLC or a corporation in their name just for the tax advantages that you get. Even if you're an employee, just have one for a side hustle or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Ask your accountants before. This is not.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, ask your accountant. Ask your accountants about that. But definitely in real estate for when I started in real estate, I started with the company first. They marketed really good on social media.
Mhm.
I was there for about a week, but I didn't really like the ambience of the company.
Okay.
So I contacted an old high school friend of mine who's also a realtor, and I had an interview with his broker, which is currently my broker,
Okay.
and I went from there. I started real estate while I was still doing Home Depot, so mostly I was doing
Okay.
rentals, and then um, I started doing my first sale, which was back in March. Which with that money was what I was able to say, I'm gonna quit Home Depot and I'm gonna start this other business. Um, so basically, I kind of duplicated my money in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing. And then, I just have that really good support team in my real estate family. So anyone who wants to join real estate, let me know. My brokers, they're extremely amazing, and we can help you out with anything. She's awesome.
Wonderful. I see a lot of people with real estate. I don't know if this is only Miami, but Florida overall, everyone has a real estate license, and
Hmm.
most people don't take action because they find the reality of it. It's hard when it
It
comes.
is.
So, what can you share with us about that experience? What made you,
Right.
and succeed up to this point?
Um, to be honest, like I said, just having the right system around you, because real estate it's an easy game to fall behind. or if you have the right support system, you can fall forward. I'm not really successful in real estate, but because I haven't put my mind to it, because I've been doing with this other business. But I do know that if I would have gone more into it, I definitely could have succeeded to a higher level. But that's just on me. But I would definitely, if I would recommend someone, if they want to get their real estate license, forget the whole stereotype where, oh, you're your own boss and you make your hours, and it's a really hard profession. You're gonna have to be dedicated, extremely dedicated to it. In a sense, you're kind of like the legal counsel, almost like the lawyer of your clients. So the more knowledge that you know, the better. And just know that it takes hard work, and this is with any business. So the thing about real estate, let's say today's November, and let's say I want to take the whole month off. I won't see the results of my laziness until 3 months from now. So in February, when my pipeline is dry and I'm not making any closings, it's because in November I wasn't doing anything productive. So and I feel like that ideology applies to any other business. What you don't do now, won't reciprocate into the future, because any lead, if you have a lead for whatever business, it probably takes you 3 to 5 times of contact for you to actually successfully close the lead, and that could equal maybe 2 or 3 months of communication. So whatever you do now is for the future. It's not really for now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a book called The Slight Edge. It says that all your habits, all your actions accumulate, and the results of those actions and habits start showing up until in the future, not right there and
Right.
then. And that's with everything in life, I think. So in real estate, that's where you actually get to see it firsthand and
Right.
realize. Um, you when we talked on that phone call, you mentioned you follow, and this is why Dr. Lanigan talked so good about you, because he said that he had some relatives, some people that he sent your way, and they came back to him and said, this kid is knowledgeable, he's great, I like him, but we like him because he has a philosophy. That philosophy went around a mentor that you brought up on that call. You want to bring it up
Yes.
for people to learn
Yeah.
about?
So basically, the philosophy, and it doesn't apply just to real estate. I apply it to everything in life and in business.
Right.
Is relationships over transactions. So basically, if you value the relationships that you have with the person over just a simple transaction that might be happening, you will get so much more farther in your business and in life. So basically, the mentor that said that and introduced the philosophy was Ricky Caruth. He's a real estate agent out of Alabama. He created the world's first free real estate training for agents. And his thing, like I said, talking to people, trying to build that relationship. Because the thing about real estate, 99% of people just focus on the sale.
Yeah.
And if you focus on the sale, you're really limited to what you can do. If you don't follow up with them after the sale, if you don't have their best intentions in mind, like you said, there's a million other people who are doing real estate, especially in South Florida. Why do they want to choose me? Well, because I treat them as a person, not just a deal. And that I've applied to my other businesses where, I look at them as people, not as just numbers. And at the end of the day, the the word of mouth, the recommendations, the relationship of us working together is so much more better, because from the start they already know my intentions. Obviously my intention is to help you and close you, but my intention is to be there for you and be your guide, or whatever the case may be, before the sale. you know and then he has there a couple of scripts that people use, and all the scripts are fairly easy to follow. So that whole philosophy of relationships over transactions can definitely be applied to any other business, or the part of your life that you want to apply it to.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's talk about a little bit about your other businesses. Share with us what you're up to now and how that's going, and where you picture yourself in the next year, 2021, and forward.
Okay, so basically, this company that I started now in April, started April 4th. It's a transportation company. So basically, what we do is we help fleet owners and owner operators find loads. So we're their dispatching service, and that's basically pretty much what we do for now. I'm trying to provide other services such as training, business setups, anything and everything that I can help and provide value within the transportation industry. I'm definitely all for it. One of the things that really helped me out was that I seeked help from a mentor. He's one of the biggest ones in the transportation industry right now. So, and this goes for everything. As being an entrepreneur, you have to have that will to invest into yourself. Don't be afraid to invest money into yourself, into your business, because most people say, oh, you're just wasting money. But that's the problem. You say it's waste, but I call it investing. So they're wasting and investing are two different words. So what might be wasting for someone is definitely investing for the other. So I definitely believe that the more money you pour into your self education, because school can only teach you so much, and we know this firsthand, that basically what they teach at school is not really what real life and business is. So definitely trying to invest as much money into self education, into your branding as a person and as a business. And every single dollar that can be invested into your business will definitely reproduce more at the end. So that's
Yeah,
definitely a gem that everyone should apply both in their personal and their business lives.
absolutely, brother. I appreciate that. That's totally true. I mean, since last year, I've been spending probably about $10,000 on courses and other information, and a lot of it sometimes I haven't taken action. And I know there's people that are in the same spot, but if they actually take action on it, it's the ROI on that
Right.
investment is going to be exponential. So I think this has been a great conversation, but I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. You dropped some gems. You talked about some great mentorships and entrepreneurship and your personal story. And I hope to have you in the future again, seeing where you're at,
Absolutely.
where you take your businesses, and where can people find you?
So my business Instagram for real estate is Miami's favorite realtor. And then my business Instagram for the transportation is Oliver's Transport and Logistics. So any of those two, whichever one you can reach me. I don't really use my personal. I just use it for business.
Perfect.
But pretty much that's where you can reach me and find me in my content.
Awesome. That's the definition of using social media, not
Yeah,
social media using you. Perfect.
yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna have the links below somewhere here, and we're gonna be able to connect with you in the future. If there's anything left that you want to share with the audience,
I would like to say, because it's happened to me, like you said, that we buy a whole bunch of courses, but we don't really take action. That's I'm definitely a victim of that. So I would definitely say to the people who just don't know what to do, or if they're trying to do way too many things at once, is just pick one thing and focus 100% on that, because it's happened to me where you're trying to focus on way too many things at once, and at the end of the day you just decide to quit all of them, so you're more behind than where you started. So definitely, if you want to do something, just pick one thing, go 100% at it, and once you feel comfortable at the level of success that you achieve, now start branching out into another sector. But definitely just stick to one first.
awesome. I appreciate that, brother. Thanks for your time again, and hope to have you in the future. Okay.
All right, man. Thank you
Have
for
a
having
great
me.
day. Bye.
All right, thanks.